Athens-Limestone County leaders gave an update on the latest in their area. There are 3 COVID-19 patients in the ICU of Athens-Limestone Hospital. The county has tested over 800 people, but officials are reporting a drop in the number of people coming to its fever and flu clinic. What was up to 60 people a day has dropped to less than 15. The county took the time to address any discrepancies between their reported number of positive cases and what's seen on the ADPH website.
Limestone County residents that may go to a neighboring location, whether it's Morgan County, Madison County, and get tested positive, the state reports based on the home address of the individual who got tested. So that's the discrepancy in those numbers.